Hello, everyone. This is oneself Afker, and thank you so much for joining us in this new call of Your Divine Uniqueness. I'm happy to connect with you live and also with those of you who will be on the replay. And yeah, also very, very excited that Rebecca Rose is with us on the show for the first time. And I have to say, like when I connected with her uh, before, I really felt like, how to say, this heartfelt connection and how she gives from her heart, and the also like it's something that's like from the interaction. I felt that this it's what she's bringing, the energies and the message. It's more about uh connecting like to our truth, to our true self, to our higher self, and embodying that through this human and physical journey. um and also it's more like, maybe I can say, practical, because it comes also from our own experience. Because when we are talking about something that we experienced, and we experience the transformation, the deep shift and embodiment, this comes through the energy and the words that we speak, and also the transmissions that we transmit to others. And yeah, I really love that about her, because also she will be sharing with us today about her own journey. And also we'll be discussing galactic hearts, like how can we go through the journey of self-healing and self-love to open our galactic hearts. Because, how to say, like, the heart opening process can be challenging at times, um, especially because of the traumas from this lifetime and past lifetimes, and what we inherit from our lineage, and also what we pick from the collective. It can make it maybe challenging for the inner child to go through that and process that, to feel safe to open the heart. And yeah, so she will be sharing about that, and how this can also bring us, like, it can shift our life tremendously, but also bring us together as a collective in unity, and really let go of this separation consciousness that we feel first within, and we reflect it back in the outer world. Yeah, so it will be very, very exciting. And also she will be sharing with us an energy transmission about aligning with the galactic heart. So stay tuned for that. And also we'll have a Q&A later on the call. So if you are on Zoom, you can raise your hand by pressing reactions, then raise hand to ask your questions. And also you can type them on the chat boxes on Zoom or on YouTube. And and yeah, so for those of you who are new to Rebecca, she is a quantum energy intuitive, galactic light channel, and heart seer. And yeah, so with that, Rebecca, welcome to the show. Happy to have you with us.
Oh, thank you. I'm so happy to be with you for the first time. Yeah, I always
Yeah.
feel like you hold such a lovely space, and I always feel the energetic transmission that you're sort of offering. I don't want to say passively, but it's just the energy that comes with you. So I appreciate that. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, so let's start in the beginning by sharing about yourself, your own journey.
Yeah, well, so I guess we're getting into some things about reconnecting with self, reconnecting with source, the galactic heart, and really overcoming the destabilization that we've had, like at a really almost like a soul level, as we've been conditioned in this matrix to be separate from ourselves. And one of the things that has brought me closer into receiving higher love was I would say my search for love in human form. And this is something that's really relevant to all of us. I mean, we are hardwired for deeper intimacy with others, and particularly in romantic relationships. So, one of the things that happened for me earlier this year was a connection I had with another light worker, romantic connection that, we met online, and I, over some months, finally went to see him in Australia. And I recognized something that, when we are disconnected from our own, again, self relationship, we can push away what we most seek, which is in many cases love. We are also hardwired for love and to receive love. And so when I went to make contact with my potential partner in Australia, he pushed away from what was there. And I think this, like, again, this is really relevant. Like, how do we actually reject? It's almost like rejecting mother's milk or the life force itself when we kind of turn our backs on this. And I see this in a lot of clients that I work with, maybe not so easy to receive what is warm and sweet and safe and nice in our system because we are so traumatized in a collective way. And I certainly can relate to that in the early parts of my journey as well, like not being able to receive what's really nurturing for me. So after that experience in Australia, and by no means, anything negative toward this particular light worker, but just as an example, because I think personally speaking from a place of vulnerability is very connected to an audience, because we can all relate to maybe heartbreak and love. But my guides really brought me into a place of, hey, Rebecca, look, the love that you seek is everywhere. It's in the cells of your body. And like I knew this, but it was bringing me into that deeper experiential, almost somatic knowledge of what I would say is the galactic heart within me. And we're bathing in the nectar of love at all times. There's no poverty here. There's no lack of abundance for what we need, whether it's love or something else. That's all here and available. So that's sort of the preamble to what led me to kind of deepening my own journey, and also seeing the underpinnings of how we move beyond. As I said in the blurb about our show today, is like we move beyond separation consciousness and into unity by becoming deeper, maybe deeper in love with ourselves as well, deeper into relationship with ourselves, more authentic. We become more authentic with ourselves. So that's what we could talk. I could talk and talk and talk on this, but that's sort of the gist of things, oneself. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I know that you started with that because this is something very important. We experience that in some way in our journey. And like I believe like what makes it hard is that maybe when we try to open our hearts, like I mentioned earlier, it can be maybe painful or very challenging. And maybe we don't know how to hold space for ourselves, or we don't find someone who can take us through that process. And yeah, then as a result, we run away from some experiences that's deep within our hearts we want to have.
Yeah, yeah. And there's a sadness to me as I contemplate this, and this is why I feel so compelled to speak about it in a variety of levels, whether it's a 3D level or, you go into the higher planes and talk about how it relates to that too. But in a deeply humbling, like human level, I think this is part of the journey for us um, to lean towards what we really want and who we really are, which is, I mean, I would say we are the universe. It's in every cell of our being. It's in our DNA, and that's what we're working on collectively to awaken. Yeah. So.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And so yeah, let's talk about self-love and self-healing. How do you see it from your own perspective?
Yeah. Oh, so I want to say straight up, I know self-love can be kind of a buzzword, and it can be like, yeah, just go love yourself. Like if it were easy, we'd all be doing that. And we all know that this planet would look a heck of a lot different if we were all in that frequency together with, I call it self-care, self-tenderness, so it's more bring it down from a concept of self-love into, oh, so, don't you feel that when you say self-tender, like, oh gosh, there's something to that. That's a little, it's a little squishy inside. But my journey, gosh, I had a very traumatic early life and had experiences with regressive ETs and these things. And I was very much a product of conditioning toward the negative as far as my relationship with self. So I wasn't in good relationship with myself. And it was when I began to meditate on a daily basis, probably 10 years ago, and learned a lot of practices with the heart through the lineage that I'm a part of, really showing up for myself first and foremost, and learning to have a lot of compassion for myself. And let's say the trauma that I experienced, you know, everything changed for me because I softened not only toward myself, but I softened then toward others in the world. And, I can still be triggered by other people. But there's such a more of an openness as I became more open with myself to receiving myself in all of the different colors and shades and moods and landscapes of my experience. Opening to that just allowed me to open to the full expanse of what's happening on earth, what's happening for my clients, what's happening for friends and family, and so on. We just can hold more space, I feel, when there's not that sort of, I would say, maybe a more brittle energy that I had with myself. A lot more judgment, a lot more, the viewers everybody can relate to this, the judgment and the expectation, particularly that we have about ourselves or beliefs that we're not enough. I'm sure you talked about that on this channel, all of that conditioning and programming. So, yeah, I hope that gives a little bird's eye view of things. And again, really relevant topics probably for everybody, like in our innermost heart of hearts.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, and yeah, as you mentioned, like feeling of not enough, not being enough. It creates like that fear that we will be missing out. Like if there is an experience like opportunity, like in any um, in area of our life, we feel like this is the only one because we don't believe uh, we are worth like receiving more and more. It's what happens is that we start giving away our power to that experience, that person, instead of approaching it from like a self-loving state of being.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, I can also say about when we talk about the self-love piece, or we could say self-compassion, it's really, in my own experience anyway, about allowing myself to be as I am without having to like shift it or fix it or, bang it with light or whatever. And we always want to receive more light, of course, and more love from this great expanse that we're a part of, this creation source. But to let myself be as I am, like I am enough in this moment. Whatever's passing through is like, our internal landscape and our moods are weather. Wait 5 minutes, it's going to shift. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And so how can we maybe hold space for ourselves when we are going through that maybe intense um,
Mhm.
experience of opening the heart towards something that we are not used to energetically?
Yeah, and isn't that the thing? Well, so how do we do that?
Yeah.
One way I will say what came to mind when you first asked that, and once I do a lot of work with clients and with myself over these years, of my own healing journey with the young parts. The young parts are the gold. Like we could say the inner child, the child aspects, the parts that are a little more vulnerable or very much more vulnerable, but they also hold a lot of gifts and a lot of joy. Um, so that's one access point, if you can maybe visualize yourself or feel yourself as a young, maybe you're 3 or 4 or 5 or 6-year-old child, like, yeah. I mean, what happens for you? What do you see in that aspect of yourself there before you? And what are you compelled to do? Um, and just observing, be curious, don't make any judgment about it. It might be something or nothing, or, if something's coming up, oftentimes it's traced to something that happened in childhood, and there might be a core wound around that, and we can always sort of feel more deeply into that. It's really holding space for, like I said, whatever's arising, and to move toward it rather than away from it. Move toward it, even if it's a little uncomfortable or very uncomfortable. It will shift once we make space for it. And I think that's true when we maybe we're having a tough time with somebody else, whether it's a partner or a coworker or whatever it may be. Can we kind of pivot so we're shifting toward it rather than, like, my tendency in the past would be to really wall things off and just move away. Um, like, oh, well, what could we be curious about here? Or how could I be more available to the situation, or more vulnerable, or what would be in my heart actually to do right now? So it's always softening. I think my training and practices always involves softening rather than, I heard somebody in the chat said, I can relate to the word brittle. Like we become a little contracted and like that brittle edge is there. So, and it is also receiving when we're in meditation or, maybe we're lying down before we go to bed and just pausing there to receive the higher light, maybe having a connection with higher self. We could talk about the child self, but we could also talk about the higher self and what is the internal guidance and to really move into a place of deepening self-trust. The self-trust piece becomes important too, so that you can be held if you're going through challenges, um, and that you'll come out the other side okay. And that can be a great act of self-love and self-care to turn toward yourself. Isn't just about the painful sides of human experience, but also about our joy. Sometimes I know, okay, bring it back to myself. I've had a tremendous difficulty over the decades now. This has gotten better, but it's still tough. To receive the feel-good feelings of being alive, we have to be able to surrender to some extent to be in our joy, to be in the spontaneity of the creative process, and to really feel our feelings. And that pertains to the conversation around love and how we relate with love coming in from the universe or another person, or how we allow ourselves to radiate that or offer it to another person. How open are we? So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And like also, I believe what makes us really take the time to hold the space, to have the experience, is how important it is for us. And like for me personally, it's been like after I passed through some very intense experiences that, yeah, I realized that's very important. And I started giving more time. And sometimes it can be very challenging, but yeah, I am aware of what is happening. And then I can create the space and time or be present for myself, for my inner child.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's that work is, I find it to be a kind of soul retrieval in a way. Like it's sort of taken lightly by, understandably, we don't grow up having any concept of like having an inner child aspect, right? Um, but I think I observe really deep work or deep healing in the client work that I do along with the child parts, for example. Um, it's very revolutionary in a way, in a humble way, in a really beautiful, sort of simple way too. And they're tapped into joy. They're tapped into the cosmos. All of you can remember times in your young life where they're almost like time stops and there's something bigger happening for us before we've kind of gone through that classical conditioning. There's there's so much alive in us, and that's sort of the portal or gateway back into our full-bodied humanness, which in turn connects us back to the higher self and our higher galactic avatars and these things, the higher templates of galactic union and star families and all of this. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful. And yeah, so part of the topic is galactic hearts. So my question is, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, you are the universe and our heart. And I know I'm sure this has been talked about a lot beautifully. So on your show, is like the heart is the most powerful thing we have to shift this reality and to attune with those higher energies. We know it's not in the mind or the head. It's in our consciousness, yes. But like in the Tibetan tradition, for example, the heart mind, the mind is actually in the heart awareness, the heart coherence, like as we're sitting here as a group, and hello, I see lots of familiar names out there. How beautiful. Hello, everybody. Um, yeah, as we're sitting here as a group and we're kind of bringing awareness and energy to these topics, there's always a coherence of heart that goes on, I think, in your show when the group is gathered. And there's something galactic in nature about that. But again, at the more, if we want to say individual or singular level, um, Yeah, we are in 3D, so we could speak of that. We're not quite launched fully into 5D, although that timeline is already created in many ways. We're already walking through it. But um, Galactic Heart is like, I see it visually as, I think that name came out of, seeing my crown open in meditation and all of this. I'm sure you guys can relate to this. It's like that wellspring of effulgence, that higher light just pouring through my heart, and then it just radiates out like in every direction, 360 degrees above me, below me. And it's in correspondence with the universe. We're always in a call and response with the universe and with the world around us, let's say. And we are manifesting creation as we go by what we're carrying in our resonant vibration through that. And the heart is like, okay, that's the biggest battery we have. It's a transceiver. So we're always receiving and transmitting. And I think when we become more clear on that, or more aware of that, or more attuned to it, in a gentle way, we a lot can shift. A lot can shift, and we become, I would say, the powerful co-creators that we came here to be. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, absolutely. And also it can change our perspective about like our creation starts within, because many times when we hear that like we need to shift within to shift our reality, and many times we
Yeah.
don't like that, or our ego don't like that. We want the reality to change first.
Mhm.
But
Yes.
but when we go through that process, we start little by little become aware of that, and we start believing that's true. Um, and yeah, so yeah, just wanted to mention that. Um,
Yeah. Yes.
yeah,
Anytime you want to shift the outside, shift the inside first. Period.
yeah,
Full stop. That's it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, Beautiful. And maybe also like when we do that process, because many times like we want to go through the process of connecting to our hearts, opening our hearts when we see the outer world not showing up the way we want it to be. And then also there is an expectation through that process, um, because we
Mhm.
want to shift within in order to get what we want outside, instead of being more like flexible, focusing on the heart first, and then we like we start wondering what will happen in the outer world, instead of every time checking if something changed or not.
Yeah. We're like goal oriented all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I've had my place in that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Mhm.
mm,
Uh, Catherine, she wrote, "Oh, I experienced this overflowingness, so beautiful."
yeah.
Yeah,
That's really good to hear. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And it can overcome us in a way, or slip in when we are not necessarily expecting it. It doesn't have to be at a point of meditation when you're saying, "Oh, could I please receive this now?" And that's a beautiful sign of being in the flow of the unexpected, maybe the grace of the cosmos coming through. And I love, yeah, thanks, Catherine, for sharing that. It's really, I mean, I feel that once we touch that or have these moments or glimpses of that um, awakened within us, you can't unwind that. You remember that it's there. And perhaps those experiences build upon themselves and also get shared with others when we begin to attune to that higher frequency on a more regular basis. Like it starts to change us. So it's then transmitted, talking again about being transceivers of the heart, then it's transmitting to others, those we live around or those we work with, or just to the collective in general. And it's really causing a heart shift at a more mm, a larger scale, if you like. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, very, very beautiful. And do you feel it's the right time for the energy transmission?
Oh, let's do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure, you bet.
Thank you.
All right. So this will be a little a little more experiential. So we'll come down out of the talking in the beta brainwave state here in the chatter of the mind, which has been actually really beautiful. Thanks everybody for coming. I'm so glad you're here. And just inviting everybody to rest and receive. If you've done a session with me, you know I always say that at the beginning. Rest and receive. There's nothing you have to do. There's nothing you have to do differently or be differently. And just let yourself maybe arrive from wherever you are. It's going on 10:30 in Alaska this morning, wherever you're calling in from. Welcome. Yeah, just letting yourself have a breath. And oh, a little sigh, maybe. Oh, there's nothing to do at the moment. La de lo ni la ni la tu la madila onche. Ni carilo, te la di la vatelo, melani che polavani, la ante la vadena coltane. La da limne the la vadeka tomnisha. Yeah, lay your suffering down. Oh, like lay your suffering down on the ground before you. It's like we'll make a pile of it and clean it up together. When more do this work together, more will be healed and cleansed. So, in any case, the light language begins, but just notice maybe how your body wants to unwind. I can feel my own shoulders kind of dropping. And let yourself breathe. Like the breath is the consummate teacher of how we receive through expansion of the diaphragm, the lungs, chest, the belly, rise and fall of the body that kind of carries us through this realm of the physical. And feel how your experience invites you in and also invites you to let go. Maybe noticing your seat, your feet, and a melting through the crown. And this does become easier as we do it together. It's more available because we're all influencing each other to some extent here in very favorable ways. You could even invite a higher self aspect or child self to be with you if that feels good and someone's knocking on the door for you, or maybe a galactic aspect of yourself or galactic family. Inviting in our guides and our teachers. You can understand yourself in a different way, like this. You could even bring a hand, bring a hand to maybe to your chest if that feels good, and sort of bringing it's like a somatic awareness into the heart space. And let yourself receive. Gates of awareness will be much more, there's a lot of galactic energy here, and you will notice, maybe be noticing that. You might notice some color fields or geometric forms, sacred geometry and movement, especially through the heart at the moment. That's my observation. Parting the curtain at the thymus so more joy can be received. Just a little gap there. So you might have something you want to offer up, maybe something that has been troubling you or that needs a little more TLC within you. Maybe it's a mood state, a a frame of mind, an emotional sense. Maybe it's a desire you want to set free. Or something you want to receive. And let yourself kind of dissolve into that. We are all here supporting you to do your best. This is galactic again. I feel some Arcturian energy as well. Some indigenous energies here. I also feel the grandmothers, indigenous women from many different times and places who also trace their ancestry to the stars, star-seeded as are many of us. You might also feel, yeah, you might feel presence behind you that is both loving, supportive, nurturing, and empowering, protective. And okay. So at this point, you might have be gifted with a memory of a time, perhaps recently or in the distant past, in which you turned away from yourself, or maybe a moment of suffering or challenge that you really couldn't face. That will be very unique to you and your experience. The space is open here for maybe this is interesting. I hear it as a rewriting of the script, creating a potential for something new here to exist. Oh, you must learn to forgive yourself. This will create more harmony in you and also your life and through the collective field. So I think here we're reminded that oftentimes we hold grudges not with others, but with ourselves. Everything you've experienced is here as a banquet of human life. So we're reminded too that in the upper dimensions, there's not so much of this is good, bad, black, white, right, wrong, but just that this is what's happening. And in this moment, maybe have a sense that you're turning toward that experience or that moment, or gentle. I would call it gentling or tendering with the self, tending the self and becoming more gentle, more soft, more open, more caring, more loving. As if holding that moment in time that was difficult for you, which could be today, yesterday, the week before, or something you're anticipating, something of a challenge. You're turning toward it with love. So some people might be having some hard emotion coming up with that, and that's really welcome as well. For this is where the healing happens. Oh, it's through the heart. Yeah, so I am getting a lot of I will receive in sessions when I do client work, a lot of like emotions for clients that are just coming up and out. So let that be there. If that's you've got an emotional kind of upwelling or discharge that wants to happen, this is a perfect place for that. And let yourself come towards yourself. Be surrounded by this loving energy. You can notice what's alive in your heart. And you might, again, some of you might feel the crown chakra really opening, and also a deeper grounding to the earth. A deeper grounding to the earth, especially those of you with strong missions here. You have a strong sense of mission, a strong passion to be here right now. And also maybe those who have a strong, I'm getting so much information for so many different people, strong connection to indigenous past lives as well. Oh, so some big clearing there. No butterflies mean anything to anybody. A lot of butterflies as if flying through the collective heart. I think symbolic of chrysalis, gestation, rebirth, healing. And then there's another pause there. And notice here if there's a part of you that's been dormant that wants to come forward, and it's if rising up within you. something that's been maybe hidden, or something beautiful, beautiful part of you that wants to come into union and expression through you. And maybe a love that is present with you as a result of that. Maybe an inspiration, a deeper care for yourself. Maybe a care that extends into the group, your local and non-local space. And just notice what's arising for you. Just be curious. No right or wrong answer. Oof. A lot of emotion coming through, as I say, giving you the tools, the guides, the higher energies, the collective higher frequencies here that are really connected to source and creation and the origin point of the universe and all of life. It's like a portal through which to walk toward yourself. And here, just notice if the heart is maybe, or what's happening. I won't try and overlay that with anything, but I read a lot of expansion here, and just notice if there's something happening in your own awareness, somatically, or through emotion, sensation, color, and light, maybe a sound, a message, a memory, geometry that might be opening as a Merkaba field around you, as the heart. Almost, I hear it as the heart embraces itself, more will be available for you to download and to see. So I also see the third eye opening. And when we mentioned the earth connection previously, you might also experience that the root chakra has more grounding and more, I hear it as sensibility. When you come back into union with yourself, the whole world becomes the pearl. And for those of you who may have struggled to be here in this reality, you may find yourself feeling more complete, more resourced, more resilient, more able, and again, more loving. The loving universe embracing you. And let that seep into your cells, into your DNA, into your whole experience of the moment of what we could call as self, but you might find the self concept becoming rather swimmy and rather diaphanous, ephemeral, the self that cannot be quite pinned down because it's so much bigger than what we've been given to believe. I just see the spiral galaxy opening through every heart here, and maybe you're called to reach toward deeper union with another, finding it within, finding the universe within, and understanding then again and again how all things can mend. Yeah. And just rest with that for a moment. I'm seeing some of you as galactic beings. So I feel myself much more galactic than when I started. Yeah. Welcoming in a lot of star family. And almost like bearing gifts to be received when the heart is truly itself, truly open. So I think about well beyond the scope of our call today, you guys will still continue to receive maybe something a little unexpected in your awareness and through the stream of the heart. Mm. Mm. Mm.
Beautiful.
Mm. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Rebecca. Yeah, that was very, very beautiful, safe, and
Mm.
it's how to say, like it's brought some like some kind of expansion when we like, especially toward the end, when we felt that's the universe within. It's how to say, because when we want to create something outwardly, like it comes from the universe, and when we felt that connection, it feels like much more expanded and more, maybe more peaceful, more at ease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like more I don't know, fulfilling, maybe wholeness.
Mm. Mhm, mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. Yeah. Well, Montsev, it really makes me enjoy my work because I channel these things and I never know what's going to happen. I mean, I could write notes
Yeah.
down for what's going to happen on Monsev's show today, and I'm going to throw them away because I don't know.
Mhm.
Right. But it's also, I'm seeing people's lovely notes. Thank you so much coming in. And it's so much also the group energy that supports this as well. So everybody plays a part in manifesting what just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, Andrea, she wrote so very peaceful and joyful. Pippa, yes, so so beautiful. Thank you. Linda, thank you. That was wonderful. Um, Another Linda, that was lovely.
Yeah.
And yeah, Catherine, she wrote, wow, thank you for this gift today. I am so thankful I was able to join today. I
Mhm.
experienced a huge pulse of power and energy, yet feel calm. Yeah,
Oh,
Joshua felt
yeah.
Star Family strong.
Oh, I love that. Thanks, Joshua. Yeah, beautiful.
Um, yeah, we will start taking questions in a couple of minutes. Just want to ask you, like, uh, if you can give an idea to the audience, maybe kind of questions, or how will you work with them during the Q&A?
Oh, give me what you got.
Okay,
It could
that's
be a
easy.
personal question. It could be something that just happened for you, something really relevant to, our dialogue today,
Yeah,
something really pragmatic or something very etheric, galactic in nature, whatever you want.
yeah. And yeah, Ira on YouTube, she wrote, that was powerful. Thank you so much. And yeah, so yeah, everyone, a reminder, you can talk to Rebecca by raising your hand on Zoom by pressing reactions, then raise hand, or by typing your questions on the chat boxes uh, and chat boxes on Zoom or YouTube. And yeah, so we'll start in a couple of minutes. So just before that, Rebecca, I would love if you can tell us about the one-on-one, 60-minute one-on-one private session you are offering
Oh, yeah.
on the
So
show. And
yeah. So
I want to
the
share the
session,
link. Yeah. I want to
yeah,
share the
yeah.
link. It's
Yeah.
it's yourdivineuniqueness.com/Rebecca. yourdivineuniqueness.com/Rebecca, REDECCA. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page, and the link also on YouTube video description and the chat boxes on Zoom and YouTube. So yeah, please tell us about the session.
Oh, also, well, so it's called the Galactic Heart, and it builds upon in a very personal, unique way, a one-on-one with me, kind of the work we started here. It's a combination of a healing session, a reading, a coaching session, and I would call it as well, kind of, I mentioned the word soul retrieval, like bringing back things that maybe we've lost. It could be for physical healing or emotional healing. There's sort of more spiritual healing, psycho-spiritual healing, and elevating, opening, expanding into what's really possible for you rather than, we can all relate to having sort of a truncated experience here from time to time as we're in the 3D plane. So really opening all of that to give more potential and possibility and power to your life. In a variety of ways. I think I also mentioned there, that we can also work with child parts if you want to. If they come in, we always welcome them. So, and I observed this over the years of working with healing sessions that a lot of times things are released and reoriented, restored when there's a loving embrace, a loving witness. And I work in the Akashic records too. So there's so much, all these different streams of loving channel and gentle energies, safety and protection. Like that alone, that grounding place in my session allows a lot of healing all by itself to occur. Like you don't even need to go beyond that. Sometimes that's like what we needed when we were little or when we were vulnerable or when we had a fight with somebody. What did we need? We need, I think you mentioned the word safety, oneself. So there's that element as well, and leaving people in a clearer, more empowered place. So it's also a reading in which you can bring like, here's my stuff that's going on that I'm confused about, help me. So we can go into that together as well. For sure. We start more with a reading, then we go into more experiential healing. So we can get pragmatic answers and guidance as well as move into a expansion of consciousness and of course the heart space, bringing in a lot of heart energy and connecting the galactic heart with the more human heart and actually finding that they're not different. So
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much, Andrea. I said Andrea, Rebecca, and yeah, it's how to say, like it can be very very helpful to have someone who can hold that space, that loving space, where we can feel safe to go through that process of connection to our hearts or opening the heart. And through the energy that you are transmitting and also the guidance that you can give, it can make the process maybe flow easier. And like you said, like feeling safe and vulnerable to go through that. And in the end, it's really like it's worth it when we go through that process of opening the heart. So yeah, thank you so much for offering your support and time for our audience and everyone. So you can sign up for the one-on-one session. It's a 60-minute, 1 hour one-on-one session on the link yourdivineuniqueness.com/Rebecca, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Rebecca, REDECCA. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page. A link also on YouTube video description and the chat boxes on Zoom and YouTube. Beautiful.
yeah,
And
thank you.
yeah, thank you. Thank you, Rebecca. So yeah, let's start. We have Ricky. Thank you, Rebecca. Your session felt like an energy bridge to my heart, so nourishing and loving.
Hi, Ricky. Thank you for being here and thanks for that. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah.
Beautiful. And so yeah, Linda, can you please unmute yourself?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. And thank you. This has been really good. Rebecca, that was so beautiful. I felt that all through my spine. It was amazing.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yes,
Hi.
it was really cool. Hi.
Yeah.
I'll start my video. My question is, I've had some interesting things happen this week, and I'd like to know a little bit about them. I had two nights ago, and last night too, I've had a dream about my great grandchild who's not born yet. And I just would like to know what wants me to know.
Oh, from the
It's
dream.
really
Yeah.
interesting.
You know, when you said I had some unusual experiences, and I heard somebody new is knocking on the door, and you said, yeah. And you sorry, it helps to sometimes have a name. Is this Catherine?
I
No.
don't know what her name's going
No,
to
what
be.
is your name? I just
Oh,
wondered what your
Linda.
Linda, I'm sorry. I slipped across
That's
the
okay.
chat very quickly. So I'm just going to pause and read through your field a little bit here. So
Oh,
I'm going to be
anything.
quiet
I'd
for
love
a
any
moment.
messages.
I'm shown a vision of you, like it's almost like dissolving into the earth and picking up this baby. A being that helps you come back to yourself, nurture you, and bring you home. It helps bring this child helps bring more fertility into your own life in some way, and this could be, of course, creativity and sensuality. Creativity. The unexpected gifts of the young, as if arising. Here is like a rising from the dead, and I don't know if this is the embodiment of somebody that you've known before, is what I would say about that. So that we could go on, but there's a little Cliff Notes answer for you. Yeah.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Is she going to help me more with a purpose that I'm supposed to fulfill?
It feels really connected to creativity. Really, do you feel like your creative juice is maybe not where you'd like it to be, or that you have projects that you can't finish, or that's what my observation is about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah,
That
you're
was
welcome.
really lovely. I'd love to
Mm.
know if I'm from what star family I'm from.
Yeah. Well, book a session. Well, we'll dive deep in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Mansa.
Thank you, Linda. And thank you, Rebecca. That was beautiful. We have a question from Catherine. I am struggling to know my purpose. Can you help clarify this?
Ooh, Catherine, there's quite a beam of blue light coming in and surrounding you. Give me a moment. I just I pause to read things more adeptly here. Catherine's purpose. It's like I'm showing something of like pulling something out, and it's like teasing information out of the field. I don't know if you do any reading yourself, and this could be a lot of different things, but I also feel like there's some kind of research that you do that you might be distilling for more public consumption, like weeding through, or we could say separating wheat from the chaff for others. I don't know if that relates to anything as far as like more career, like pragmatic career, jobby job stuff, but you definitely have a gift of it's like winnowing is what I keep feeling like, winnowing, or picking out what we don't need and distilling what we do need, and then bringing that into a nice package for others. I'm wondering if that makes any sense to you. Mm. Still, and it's also still this pulsating blue light. I think to you as well, there's a strengthening of your energy field that will help the throat chakra, to to kind of shore up your energies. There's a lot of things that can come in that you don't necessarily want, and a dribbling out of energy, so to speak, um, that can cause you to feel weakened and diffuse in your clarity. So as you shore up your field, and I would do that with visualizing blue light around you, and also pulsation of energy between the heart and the throat, particularly like the heart powering the throat to be stronger and, again, more clear. So yeah, that's what I would say to you at the moment. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Rebecca. And Catherine, we'd love to hear your feedback. You can type it on the chat box. And see, we have a question on YouTube from Ira. Dear Rebecca, I am about starting my healing business. People are already coming in and asking for my service. Still, I have the feeling that not all of my gifts have opened up yet. Any message for me?
Yeah, because they're going to open as you start healing people. As you start working people, the gifts begin to open. So isn't that funny? Because our conceptual mind is like, I have to have all my ducks in a row. I've got to really be a 10 on everything before I start working with people. So isn't that, I can really read that in you, like that hesitation. And that's normal. Like we all kind of go through that. But I would say absolutely 100%, this is really coming through strongly and quickly, that as you begin to work with others, things come home to you that you hadn't even dreamt of. So you can prepare all you want, but it's not the beautiful icing on the cake. The cosmic cake will not be arriving until you leap full on into this. So I hope that helps. And I think it's a beautiful example of how we're called to be really brave. All of us can relate to this on our own, maybe our own individual sort of storyline around that. But we're called to just leap to the situation and surrender into it. So, but it's great if you're there. I can feel how hard you've worked, and I know that you are extra hard, like perfecting everything. So I think it's maybe about getting off the gas and like really, okay, I'm going to trust this. I'm going to trust these little pieces because it really feels like you're in the flow, and just learning to trust that and like working with that self-doubt piece. And that can be done through also working with the child aspect who always felt like, no, I'm not quite there yet. I need to do some more training or this or that. So I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there for now.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rebecca. And Ira, we would love to hear your feedback. You can type it on the chat box. And Catherine, she wrote, yes, searching for clarity. Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you, Catherine. Yeah.
Yeah. And the question from Joshua. I have been looking for a job. Sorry. I have been looking for a job for months now. At times, I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Feel like it might be connected to my root chakra and ancestors.
Yes.
Any galactic and star family assistance to help me get back on my feet with all of this? Thank you.
Yeah. Well, interesting you said root chakra, because as soon as oneself started reading that, I went, oh, root chakra, it's totally root chakra. So anything you're doing with the root chakra to clarify, strengthen it, love that root chakra up and noticing what's there. I need a little more time with this. And I hear you saying your star family is supportive. Yeah, and I hear this message over and over. You can have what you need. You don't have to limit yourself. And I see you rising with star family as if into your true self as a galactic being. Meaning you're more powerful and potent than you believe. And I would ask here, are you kind of going for jobs that aren't, how do I say? You could stretch farther, you need to reach, and not like down but up. So not for jobs you're overqualified for, but what you are, like believe in yourself more and take what's yours. I feel like this is a portal into empowerment for you with this job search. As frustrating as that is, and I don't want to make light of, that can be really hard if you're searching and not quite finding, right? But it is the keynote here, and I think you've already nailed it, you're intuitively on, is that the root chakra needs some TLC. And give me another moment. I'm wondering if there was some old interference maybe there at some point on the root, and allowing that to mend. And it might not be something from entirely just this one lifetime. I see dolphin energies, upper dimensional dolphin energies coming up and kind of swirling around the hips and root down into the earth. inviting you back home to yourself, as if to say, come down into the waters, make a journey with us. We'll show you what you're missing and what you need to know. So I'll leave this here.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Rebecca. And also thank you, Joshua, for your question. Yeah, we would love to hear your feedback. And we have a feedback from Ira on YouTube. She wrote, absolutely 100% resonating with your guidance. Thank you so much for your kind words and encouragement.
Yeah, great. Oh, wonderful. Yeah.
Thank you, Ira. And let's see. Amy. Hi, Rebecca. It's so nice to see you in person after all of this time working with you one-on-one. My question is around how to stay open-hearted and loving while rage and resentment are moving through. I feel consumed with anger, and the thought forms and sensations feel almost impossible to experience love simultaneously.
Yeah. This is a great share. Thank you for offering that so openly, Amy. Hello, I'm glad you're here too. So give me a moment with that. Okay, so there's a message around you don't have to do this yourself. Like I see you flanked by beings who support you. And the sense is psychically that anger and rage it has a justifiable place in your life, as you know, will clear and feel more manageable when if you feel that that state coming through, or you wake up with it, or you're up in the night with it or something. And I know it's hard to have the wherewithal to do anything other than just be in this storm when it's arising. But if you could ask them to support you and maybe feel for that presence behind you, because these are it's related to situations in which there was no one there for you, and a feeling of being unprotected. So the protection piece, as you bring that into day-to-day life, will enable you to kind of move through this, rather than, I can see it being cyclical and it's not clearing. It's a clarion call into, I am protected and I have support and I have a team working with me. And part of that is my higher self. Part of that is the grace that's within me. So, and I'm happy you brought that up, because it our conversation today makes it seem like, well, it's just easy to tap into the heart stream of love, when in fact can be very difficult and painful. So I'm glad you brought that up as gives us a talking point around maybe the challenges this kind of work. So I hope that resonates for you, Amy. It's a portal into our calling or invite, welcoming you into building upon the sense of self protection that you have, and keep restoring that, and that will allow these situations to the emotional flux and the big tide of it to dissipate much more quickly.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much, Rebecca, and also thank you, Amy, for your question. And yeah, thank you for being vulnerable to sharing that, because I feel this is question it can relate to many of us, and it's very helpful. So thank you, Amy. And we have feedback from Joshua. Yes, feels aligned and true what you spoke. I've been grasping for any type of job, even not aligned once, because I just had a son who's a month old.
Yeah.
I see that I could see more aligned jobs are available for me. Wow, was feeling very powerful energy when you talked about the dolphins, which I have always had deep musical connections with. Going to love and bless up my root chakra today. Thank you. Grateful.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Joshua.
Thank you, Joshua. And Amy Sherrod, thank you for that support with a heart.
You're welcome. Yeah.
And question from Linda. So this is another Linda. Any suggestions for opening up to our multidimensional and galactic families? I feel them waiting for me to remember how to reconnect with them, as they have so much to share with me, to also pass on to others waiting to hear. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so as Montse began reading your question, Linda, so all of this solar light, this brilliant shimmering yellow gold light, like infusing you, and I feel like you have a gateway that moves with higher solar energies that helps you connect with star family. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. Let me keep going here. And it kind of, I guess we could predict that it would land in the solar plexus with a lot of light codes. And this could be, again, like a gateway to receive those higher energies from star family. Is like working with the solar energy is sort of the portal that empowers you to kind of open up. And I think there may have been throughout, and this could be really subconscious but not necessarily a conscious thing, but a subconscious program to kind of stay away, or to not, even though we consciously want deeper connection with star family, maybe there's been a feeling at some point in the past that like your life will become too difficult or won't be acceptable to others in some way if you allow that to really come through for you, or it will change life irredeemably, and that might feel scary to some little part of you. So that's something to also be circumspect about, is maybe a subconscious program there, but overall as well, work with just I'd be curious about your relationship with the sun. And I feel like it's a gateway that takes you, the upper dimensional portal of the sun is massive and all powerful. So it might really open up these deeper star connections for you, as well as relating to the solar plexus. And then, of course, I will plug the heart, the galaxy of the heart as well, like open the heart connection. Yeah.
Yeah, very beautiful. Thank you so much, Rebecca. And also thank you, Linda, for your question. We'd love to hear your feedback. And Pippa, I would love to know what is blocking me from connecting to my higher self and guides. Thank you so much. Love.
Yeah. Give me a moment. Oh, a lot of busy energy. In this, we kind of forget that we live in a busier technological time, beyond the beyond forever. Like we've never lived in a time that has had so many distractions. And it just feels like there really is a calling in your life to the slowing down. Now, we could all probably take message from this, but for you in particular, because you have a busy mind and a busy social life and there's a busy energy swirling here that I tap into, is like crafting a really safe, sacred refuge, whether it's morning or evening before you go to bed or when you wake up. Maybe you wake up in the middle of the night and you have that time to really connect in a way that is also the grounding principle for you. It's a sweet calling in. It's almost a nurturing, mothering energy that wants to come in and support you. It's very earthy, very, we could even say, well, elemental, indigenous, has a past lifey kind of feeling to it. It's very ancient. And it's soothing to the part of your system that tends to crave deeper wind up. Almost where you like go toward more stimulation instead of like backing off the gas. So said with love, because we can all, crave after more stimulation from our phones and from our stuff, right? But that is one thing that I'm noticing, and just receiving nurturing to like let your system kind of unwind, because I know it's there. And I think it's there too, but it's like make that beautiful gift of time to ourselves. It's definitely an act of self-care. And I'm wondering too if there's things, projects in your life that might stand from like deeper delegation. Like, can you delegate some of the things that you have going on so you have a little bit more time to yourself? Yeah. So I will leave that. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Rebecca. And also thank you, Pippa. Yeah, it was Pippa. Thank you very much. And let's see. So yeah, so Rebecca, like, would you like to share maybe a message before we complete the call today?
Sure. What is the
Thank you.
message? Let's see what's coming through. Mm. There is something about, so as we've been speaking about the heart, yeah, sorry, I closed my eyes so much and like looking inward. I know we have a live human audience here too. Hi. Um, about the heart being a protector as well. When we're really attuned with the heart energies, the landscape of the internal heart as well as the great heart or the womb of the universe holding us, we're really protected. This comes up, I think this might be a question that people in the audience have as well, like internally, about how do I stay safe if I'm starting to like receive information? How do I know that it's right? So that the heart energies can I see it visually, psychically as like creating a protective field around us. Yeah, that allows like a fidelity to self and source to really guide what you're reading and seeing from various reference points, upper dimensionally speaking, and protect you from lower influences. And I'm wondering if this is maybe somebody in the audience has that query. More than one person might be kind of wondering about that. So that's coming through. La adunici pervenendo alla taile moto loni so campadici pervenendo onto shi panenci. Yala anci di la nece blond, corimeante se tante se tante shi. To describe in the language of the heart, the vehicle of the heart, the earth you want to call home. Oh, okay. So it's a message here just for everybody to, it's sort of visualizing the world of rehabilitated human relationships so we can all rest and come home. Ola nira anche edera nira afotlina nira watch. Okay. Ooh, that one was emotional as well. That was really upwelling through the heart. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, such a beautiful message. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. Yeah, thank you for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there was so much love, so much beautiful energies in this call today, and I feel like what you shared really inspired us, all of us, and also gave us more courage to connect more to our hearts, our galactic hearts, and open ourselves to that, and be gentle, be compassionate to ourselves through this process. So thank you so much. Thank you for your support to our audience, and also for offering the one-on-one session for those who wish to work with you one-on-one. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Mansa, for having me, and I hope to see some of you guys in a live session with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, before we can please, there is a feedback from Linda. Thank you. That resonated so deeply. I want so badly to fully open. Sometimes when I want to do something so bad, I get in my own way. I will try to explore and overcome this. Thank you so much. So appreciate all of you, all you brought to light today. Much love. Thank you, Linda. Andrea Sherrod, thank you. Catherine Sherrod, yes. Thank you, Monsef and Rebecca. Pascal, thank you, Monsef, for having Rebecca on today. Beautiful. Yeah, so everyone, thank you so much for being here with us today. Thank you for the comments, the questions, your energies, whether live or on the replay. And again, you can sign up for the one-on-one 60 minutes private session with Rebecca. It's a Galactic Heart Healing Session on the link yourdivineuniqueness.com/Rebecca, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Rebecca, REBECCA. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page. The link also on YouTube video description and the chat boxes on Zoom and YouTube. And yeah, so that's everyone. I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you on the next call. Bye-bye, everyone.